Hey guys, it's Tessa. So I'm still working on this cardigan that I'm going to steep and all of that stuff. I had to frog a bunch of it because I realized I messed up and I was so far into it that part of me was like, ooh, what if I just leave it? But I can't. So I ripped it all back pretty much to like 2 repeats, I think, before I connected or after I connected the sleeves. So I didn't have to deal with redoing all that stuff, so that's nice. But I just still have a pile of yarn at my desk. I don't even think you can see. There's a pile here, there's a pile here, and I'm just cruising at this point. Essentially the problem I did was I didn't immediately start decreasing properly for the raglan shaping. And I just left me with too many stitches. I also didn't do my front V decreases properly, so I wasn't going to be able to lose enough stitches in time for it to work out. I also somehow have lost a stitch. I don't really know how it happened, but there's supposed to be 7 stitches in the middle here, and I only have 6 now. I don't know what happened. I mean, it's fine, it'll do, but I just don't know what I did, and there's nothing ripping back, there's no stitch that's missing, not caught. I can't think of words today. It's Sunday, I'm tired. But yeah, so I'm just cruising on this currently. Currently I'm decreasing at the start and end of each row to do the V shaping, and then every other row I'm doing the raglan shaping. So every other row I drop 10 stitches, the other row I drop 2 stitches. But that's where I'm at. I'm only probably 3 inches into the top portion. I think I need to do 8 inches if I remember correctly with how this yarn stretches. I'm gonna go to 8 inches or whatever I'm at that point, and try it on, just see how it is, because since this is a superwash merino, this is Drops baby extra fine baby merino, I think, or extra fine merino, superwash merino, I don't know, doesn't matter. Point is, this is a superwash, and when I did the gauge swatch, I got more stitches vertically than I did horizontally, or that stretched a bit more vertically, which is pretty common for superwash. So I made the body only 18 inches before, or 17 inches before I added the sleeves, which that's 3 inches shorter than I'd prefer it to be. I prefer my cardigans to be a little bit longer. I say as I'm gonna start a cardigan that's cropped soon. I'm terrified for it, but it's fine. But that's kind of where we're at with this guy right now. I'm hoping to get back to the point I was at yesterday before I frogged all this today. Which I think is achievable. I have 4 more hours at least where I'll be awake, so my plan is to continue to grind it out, and just get to that point, and then we can deal with the rest of it tomorrow. But I'm thinking I can finish this week. Game plan for the steeking. If you don't know what steeking is, it just means you're knitting in the round, and then at some point in time you cut up straight through the middle and you have a flat panel. I just don't like doing purling or purl rows very much, so I thought steeking would be a cool version to get out of that. I don't like knitting in the round for forever either, so the next cardigan will be knit flat instead of in the round as well. Anyways, for steeking, since it's a superwash, there are some concerns with it staying properly once steeked. Essentially, when you steek something, you have live stitches at that point that usually will felt together on their own with friction and time. You can also do things to encourage the felting. Again, this is superwash, and superwash does not felt. They remove the lanolin from the wool and it stops it from felting, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But essentially there are a couple other ways that I can ensure that the steeks stay in place. I'm firstly going to do a couple rows of just straight stitches from my sewing machine on it. I might do 1 zigzag stitch row, I'm not sure. And then I also plan to do a single crochet border reinforcement as well. So I'm really just planning to do a decent amount of reinforcement. Additionally, we are only going to cut the steek once it's done blocking, meaning I will finish the entire body of this. I'll finish the cardigan, do the ribbing, block it, then deal with the steeking. That's the game plan. I'll check in once this yarn's no longer just living on my desk. Alright, so last night I got through as much of the yarn that I could that was on my desk here. I ended up winding up, I think I only had, okay. My brain is moving so quickly. I'm pretty sure last night I got to the point basically that I was at previously. Because I still had a pile of yarn there, it was due to the original time when I started this, I wasn't doing the decreases fast enough, so I think it was just extra yarn from that. I wound the remainder of the brown into a ball, just something like this big, and then I just kept going. Today during my lunch break, I connected the new ball of the green because I ran out of the original green that I was using with that ball, and I'm about 4 inches into the top here. So it's about 4 inches of about 8 or 9. I think I'm gonna go closer to 9. I'd rather have this be too oversized and too long versus too short in this specific section. So yeah, I have about 4 inches, 4.5. I'm just gonna keep cruising. I have about 30 stitches left on both the front panels, and if I'm decreasing 3 stitches every 2 rows, then I should only have like roughly 20 something rows left before it's ready to cast off and then cast on the ribbing or the button band. I don't know if I'm gonna add buttons to this or not as well on top of that. I might not. I don't think I'm going to. I think I might want to have the option for it, but I think I want to decide that later on. I also want to see how this fits a bit before I start the button band, just to make sure like the collar piece isn't too wide, and if it is, I can take in more stitches. If the collar's too narrow, I can let go some of the stitches and go back a couple rows. Although the thing I'm more worried about is just it's going to be too wide. I have a lot of stitches in the back panel still on my needles versus the amount on the front panels, but obviously it's because those connect up into the shoulders. But that's how I'm doing it. I don't know if that's correct. And then I don't remember if I said it last night, but my plan here as well is to wait on doing any of the steeking until I have blocked it. So I have to complete everything, block it, then I can cut the steek and pin it down or tack it down. That's roughly where we're at right now. I'm gonna spend the rest of the night, like another couple hours, just cruising through this, seeing how far I can get through. But it's looking good. So it's a few days later. I ended up actually casting off the cardigan. I'm not happy with it at all. I'm not happy with the shaping. I'm not happy with the fit of the sleeves. I'm not happy with how it fits in general. I'm just not happy with it, which I think is a really frustrating thing for me because when I'm knitting, I like to be a monogamous knitter. I like to just focus on one project. But I honestly, at this point, I think it's kind of best for me maybe to put this project on hold. I'm gonna finish recasting on the stitches. Okay, here's the plan with this project. First of all, I don't like leaving videos like this kind of open-ended. It bothers me a lot because then I feel like, oh, I should just finish it and just wait till I launch this video, which I could do that. But I'm trying to be a little bit more open of like how my process for things. I'm also still really excited to start the other cardigan that I want to do. That's a pattern that I can follow, and maybe I can use what I learned from that pattern in this project. But my plan for this project, originally the whole point of me doing the steeking was just so that I didn't have to knit flat, so do purl stitches essentially. But I think because of the way I have to carry the strands, it's not going to work the way I want it to, and I think as well just the way the shaping is looking as it is, I'm not loving. I know this will be fixed mostly with the actual like blocking and stuff, but currently there's a ton of rippling occurring in the section of the V, which to me tells me I've decreased too quickly, and so there's this ripple like happening. But if I pull it taut, like I will when it's being blocked, the rippling removes itself, but I still get this weird kind of indent of the stitch. You can't even see what I'm talking about. But I don't know. Part of me is still really conflicted because I'm doing 3 color stripes. I'm gonna have to cut the yarn every single time, which will suck dramatically. Additionally, I didn't leave enough stitches in the shoulder either. So by the time it gets up to my shoulder, the yoke isn't deep enough to begin with. It's only like 7.5 inches. I need it to be at least 9 before steeking, or before blocking, excuse me, and it's like 7 to 6.5. And I just didn't leave enough stitches on the collar either. I only left like, I think close to 15. And I also just have way too many stitches in the back currently. Just way too many still. So it's causing weird bunching at the back of the neck. My strategy for that, I think, is I'm just going to decrease a little bit more frequently for the back here so that it shapes up a little bit nicer over time. I don't know. Again, I'm just feeling really conflicted towards this project because I have spent so much time working on it. But I think it's best right now if I just put it on hold and work on the other cardigan. Part of me also wants to just completely start this cardigan over, which will crush me a little bit because I've spent 4 months knitting it so far. But again, if that's what's best for the project, then I'm okay with doing that. I hope that's not what's best for the project. But I think I just need to take some time to think about this cardigan, where I stand with it, what I'm doing, kind of my existence regarding it. Usually when it comes to knitting, I finish the project before I move on to the next one. But I think just because I'm so inexperienced when it comes to making cardigans, steeking, making v-necks in general, the way increases and decreases affect knitting versus the way they affect crocheting is different. So I think I took maybe a little bit more of a crochet perspective, where if you continue to decrease at the start/end of every row, you get a nice smooth transition, versus with knitting, I don't feel like that's as cut and dry. So yeah, I think that's what I need to do. I think I need to figure out as well how to do neck shaping a little bit better, because I have this too many stitches back here. I just think I'm a little crazy. I don't know. I'm just not happy, and I want to be happy with it. When it comes to knitting specifically, when it comes to making things, because I have the ability and I've learned to knit and to crochet, I want my projects to be perfect, or as close to that as I can get without, stressing myself out too much. But I think in order for me to even feel okay about this project, I have to frog back a decent amount of it, which just really sucks. So for now, this project will be going into a project bag, and hopefully we'll be seeing it at a later date. Let me know what you think of this project, your thoughts, feelings on me pausing this project, what you think I could improve on when it comes to this project. I don't know. I would just appreciate any feedback at this point, because I'm just not sure what to do really, or again, where I really stand with this project. Because I love the colors. I think it looks great, and I think everything up to the decreases for the collar, or for the V into the collar, looks great. Everything before that looks great. Sleeve is perfect, all of that. Just now that I'm at where I'm at, I don't like it at all, which sucks. Again, it means I can start the other project. So this one will be going into project bag for now until I am emotionally ready to tolerate it again. Alrighty. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, leave it below. Subscribe if you want to see more from this project or any of my other projects. Next week I'm starting, or now, but next week for you guys, I'm starting the Daft Days cardigan by La Brea. So if you want to see that, subscribe, hang out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.